My complete honest thoughts are I don't think it's tournament ready.
Welcome back, Disc Golf Weirdos. This is Double Shot Disc Golf News. Stay tuned to hear more of Gannon's complete and honest thoughts. Also, we will recap the Big Easy Open. I'm Disc Golf Enjoyer.
And I'm multiple-time disc golfer. Let's get into it.
This episode is brought to you by Planet Fitness. Much like the name of this weekend's event, Planet Fitness is big, easy, and usually open. Also open are Ezra Aderhold's DMs. The Big Easy Open was the first ever Pro Tour stop in New Orleans, the birthplace of jazz. You know, jazz where musicians improvise at a high level within a complex, mysterious structure. Fitting given what we've seen from John Houck's course design there, and from his tee pads. Speaking of those tee pads, while some were displeased with the innovative design, we think it was thoughtful of Mr. Houck to provide players with a regulation-sized shuffleboard court to stay warm during backups. For the more mathematically inclined, the tee pads each present unique geometry problems to be solved. We're calling them geometry pads. Okay, I think we've reached the end of that joke.
With this new course being on the Pro Tour for the first time, locals were excited to show up and take in the action. And that includes more than just the two-legged variety.
Slack-jawed after that one.
Doesn't take much to enjoy disc golf, Charlie.
Great look at the gallery following along here.
Before the tournament, we got to hear both defending world champions' thoughts about the Big Easy Open and also crawfish boils. We'll let you decide which thoughts are which.
My complete honest thoughts are I was kind of bad at it, so like.
Throw and close my eye.
My complete honest thoughts are I probably wouldn't do it again.
Throw and then hope for the best.
My complete honest thoughts are that's just my personal opinion on it.
You know, tweet the hand and crack here, crack there.
My complete honest thoughts are like I like seeing the snakes, and 90% of the pros are going to agree with me on that.
I don't have a lot of birdie going on. A lot of bogey instead.
Before and during the weekend, many pros voiced their displeasure with the new course. There were so many angry disc golfers, you would think that all the nearby pickleball courts were closed for the week. You would think that we announced our show is canceled. You would think that Trump banned whatnot. You would think that the Pro Tour just announced another Worlds in Kansas.
Many of the pros appreciated what the new course was trying to bring to the table, but they seemed to agree that parts of it were still a bit half-baked. I wonder if anyone has a food analogy to describe the course.
You know, I talked to Gannon about the way he plays this course, and it feels like somebody baked him a fresh pizza, and he's only eaten the middle part. He's leaving the crust for everybody. He's going over the top, not playing these really technical fairways. He's throwing roller whenever he can just to hit the gaps.
While many focused on the course, others' minds were focused elsewhere.
But like I like seeing the snakes and stuff like that.
Snake, everything. It's gotta get us, man.
I'm out there alone, snakes.
Because my eye will be like, ooh, it's a snake.
Completely terrified of snakes.
If only we had a pro that felt right at home among the snakes. But it looks like he spent too much time handling snakes and not quite enough time handling the course. In round one, Ty Love shot the hot round of 6 under while pros continued to learn the course.
Round 2 kicked off with the now standard Ace Challenge. And if there's any fans of watching a big red ball play disc golf out there, boy do I have some good news for you.
Woohoo!
All right. I'd say the odds of that throw being an ace are roughly the same as the odds of you winning the lottery. Thanks, Powerball.
In round 2, Luke Taylor aced and set a course record, which stood for all of about 30 minutes until the end of Ricky's round. Also in the second round, we saw the most difficult course on tour begin to wear down players, and pros had several different responses to this. Gannon protested the course design by throwing into the sky at every opportunity, while Ricky kept fighting back against the course. Isaac opted for exposure therapy, watching a replay of his spit out immediately after it happened. Meanwhile, other pros handled the stress as any well-adjusted 90s kid would, by sitting in a circle and singing Wonderwall.
You're my Wonderwall.
And just a few other highlights from day 2. Double G had this sweet throw-in from the fairway. Congrats, G! Unfortunately for him, that was his only highlight in a sea of lowlights. Freddie Meza was the first MPO player to birdie hole 18. A few others did birdie it after him, but he was the first, and that's something no one can ever take away from him. By the end of the day, Ricky held a 4-shot lead over Gannon and Isaac, setting up for a legendary Sunday battle. Who would win? Ricky versus Gannon versus Isaac versus the Snakes. Ricky versus Gannon versus Isaac versus the course. Versus John Houck.
For round 3, Ricky had his own gate to enter the course. Wow, that's a nice touch by Mr. Houck. I hope the big dog can stay focused on playing the course and doesn't get distracted by all these sticks he could pick up. Day 3 was very windy, making the extremely challenging course even more challenging. It made headwind putts even more headwind.
Deep of the pin, but he's going to have a look.
That is a headwind putt of a headwind putt. That is tough.
Due to the tough conditions, birdies were few and far between for the players. It was giving me deja vu of literally every round I've ever played. Deja vu from? Deja vu 2? Ricky bogeyed hole 1 while Gannon birdied, cutting Ricky's lead in half right off the top. Unfortunately for Gannon, he slipped up a bit and bogeyed the next 2. Isaac was also in the mix, but was robbed by a couple spitouts on his putts.
Oh my
I guess you could say the baskets were putting the Rob in Robinson. I guess the baskets proved to be the real Robinson. Okay. On hole 15, Ricky missed his second tap-in putt
Not
of the
so
tournament,
fast.
and once again cut his lead to 2. On the next hole, we had some controversy as Ricky Big Dog Wysocki moved a pile of loose debris that certainly could be seen as behind his lie, especially if you pretend like the basket is on the tee pad of that hole. After some tense discussion on the next tee pad, no penalty strokes were given and they moved on. Fans have not all moved on though, as opinions are plentiful on what many are calling Stickgate. Rickgate? Rick Stickgate? On hole 17, Gannon made an incredible putt to keep pace with Ricky and stay within 1 going into the final hole. On hole 18, Ricky ran into some trouble and kicked off the fairway and found himself with a tough lie. After Gannon was parked, Ricky was left with a 55-foot putt to force the playoff. He cashed it. To hole 1 we go for a playoff. Both Gannon and Ricky's drives looked good. Unfortunately for Ricky, his upshot was short and OB. It seemed pretty clear that he went out of bounds outside of circle 2, but Ricky would have preferred that he get a lie 20 feet from the basket for some reason.
I threw it sideways. Like I threw it 50 feet right and it had no speed and came back this way. It's high. They're saying. But it went front.
In the end, he was forced to putt from the fairway and missed. Gannon, this course is 100% luck-based, Burr, took down the win. That's the nice thing about a course being more lucky is that a struggling underdog like Gannon can win. That's nice to see. Congrats, Gannon.
Over in FPO, Holland Handley took an early lead and held it through most of the tournament. After 4 holes played on Sunday, Missy Gannon had cut Holland's lead down to only 2 strokes. Could Holland hold on like this putt? Yes, she won by 8 strokes. And then she was greeted at hole 18 by a 6-man brass band. Poor Holland looks about as uncomfortable as I do whenever I win an Elite Series event and I'm greeted at hole 18 by a 6-man brass band. Eventually, they escorted her to the winner's circle, which is a real place, and then live streamed the experience from their front row seat. The Disc Golf Pro Tour, everyone, where you'll find the Mardi Gras frolfing crossover you've been looking for. And just a few other highlights from FPO this weekend. Cadence Burge threw in from the fairway.
Absolutely snipes it in there.
That's right, she absolutely sniped that one in there. And during the final round, we had the first snake sighting on DGN, and we were reminded of that good old-fashioned saying, black on red, kill a fella.
Red on black? Isn't there a black on red kill a fella? No.
And now for a few tap-ins. A shout-out to Understable Discourse on YouTube, where Gary is asking the tough question.
Should the Big Easy's course be renamed the Big Hard? Let's talk about it.
Okay, great question, Gare. Let's keep workshopping that one.
Speaking of clever wordplay, Gary wasn't the only one dabbling in linguistic gymnastics.
Yeah, he hits the silas tree? Cypress tree.
The cypress.
Very good, guys.
And speaking of how difficult the course was, MPO rounds were taking right around 4 hours, more commonly known as the length of one Tour Life episode.
And that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content from Disc South.
Good heavens.
What are you guys doing out there?
Hey! I'm working here!
Cheers.
And now we got the pelican. Oh, we got it. Pelican versus snake.